The GP video blog. So today we're going to address a question from one of our followers who wants to know what are the necessary components of a warm-up, how they can make warm-up more efficient, and should they be incorporating mobility or stretching into their warm-up routine. So to begin with, the warm-up is going to be of critical importance to the training process, or even to someone that's working out for general health fitness reasons, because the muscular system is incapable of generating heat on its own. The way you generate heat in the body is through blood flow, and the way you get blood flowing through the body is through heart rate elevation. All right, so elevating one's heart rate can be accomplished through a number of different means. You could use stationary equipment such as ellipticals, treadmills, stationary bikes, rowers, and you can get into more specific stuff such as field work. If you're an athlete, or if you're about to do some sort of track workout, or weight room measures, if you just incorporate some movements utilizing barbells, kettlebells, dumbbells, med balls, even your own body weight can be sufficient enough to get heart rate elevated, and you can do things in a sequence to just progressively raise the heart rate, promote blood flow through the body, generate heat. Again, if we're looking to improve the efficiency on the neuromuscular level of the amount of force, quality of force that a muscle can generate, the speed at which it can be generated, or the velocity of movement, then we need to have a muscle thoroughly heated in order to accomplish that. So warm-ups generally look very general in nature to begin with, and then you can make them more specific and tailored to the training goal or the training day that you're looking at. Again, so if you're doing more sprint, agility, change of direction work, then of course those components and your warm-up need to be there to prep you for that. If it's more weight room related, if it's going to be more of a Olympic lifting, squats, bench, depending on, again, what it is you're about to do from a training standpoint, your warm-up must prep you for that. And then, again, during that process of prepping yourself for your task at hand, a lot of people will advocate or want to incorporate certain, mobility or stretching routines. Now, while I see value in that, such as foam rollers or the use of certain mobility drills, what I'm not a fan of are warm-ups that begin to take on the look of a therapy session. If you're warming up and you're 30-40 minutes into it, arguably you're not physically prepared to train. And what I mean by that is someone that's physically prepared to train should be able to go through a fairly general warm-up, get into more specific movements, and not feel an overwhelming need to perform an extensive warm-up of stretching and mobility and so on. Because if your brain is telling you that you are tight, all right, a lot of people will mistake tightness for shortness. And there's a difference. If muscle shortness and muscle tightness are not the same thing. Okay, muscle shortness is classically seen, after post-surgery, prolonged immobilization, injury. It could be a result of some sort of neurological condition, okay, where there's actual shortening of the muscle fibers and the contractile elements of the muscle fiber. And then on the other end, you have tightness, which oftentimes is just something that is being interpreted on a brain level. So you go through certain movements. Okay, this is a classic example of someone with tight hamstrings, that they can go through certain movements and feel tightness within the hamstring. And then so they think of course, then they might be short, and they start to static stretch, do a variety of mobility drills, etc., and not really experience any change in terms of their tightness. So oftentimes tightness might be a signal presenting itself for a number of different reasons. I've written extensively about this, but tightness can exist because maybe you lack proper stability in certain areas of the body, be it in the lumbopelvic region, the hips, glutes, abs, pelvic floor. If you're looking at the shoulders, Could be your scapular stabilizers, external rotators, retractors, some, like the serratus anterior, even simply looking at someone's breathing, quality of their breathing, diaphragmatic activity. Okay, all those may play a role in why someone feels tight. So if you're incorporating static stretching and things of that into the program, but you're not really seeing any resolution in your tightness, you might want to reconsider exactly how you're warming up and what you're doing, why you're doing it. Then on the other side, yeah, I do see some value to the static stretching. If you look at certain sports like the martial arts, gymnastics, who have the highest, some of the highest recorded limb velocities, static stretching is a major component of their preparatory program. So even if you're incorporating some static stretching and you're maybe arguably giving up fraction, maybe 5-10% of your strength because of that, who's to say that isn't also promoting longevity? And while some of these athletes might, like I said, give up a little bit of strength in the weight room for that day, is it going to enable them to continue to train and remain healthy down the line, 5, 8, 10 years? And so for a lot of people, longevity is a big thing to consider in terms of their overall health. And if that's something they can incorporate into their warm-up routine, and I'm all for it. So let's wrap it up here. Keep in mind, elevate the heart rate, generate heat within the muscles, move from a more general approach to a more specific approach depending on what it is your training objectives are for that day. And if needed, incorporate some mobility or stretching exercises, but also realize that if you're dealing with some muscle tightness, you might want to start thinking stability first. You might even want to consider seeing some sort of movement specialist, therapist that can identify exactly why you're tight, and some interventions and strategies that you can incorporate into your training program or even your warm-up to better prepare you for your task at hand and get you healthier, keep you stronger, all that good stuff, and just promote health and well-being. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening.